when I'm not warmed up. Here I go again on my own.
Decent.
Hello and welcome back to Watch the Story Hash Brown Glory with your hosts,
Oh, is this what we're doing?
Lee and Tom. We're here once more. We keep coming and doing it.
For the third time this season.
Silly boys. Third one, yes. We have an awesome guest, and I'm just going to get straight on in and welcome this beautiful human along.
He's got the wrong
That's
glasses
not
on
the
today.
intro either.
You're not allowed to talk about anything. Oh, sorry. Shut up. Today's guest on What's the Story Hash Brown Glory is a longtime friend, colleague, and Sarnie lover. He's a chap who can challenge Justin Hawkins to a sing-off. He's a guy who can make a sandwich sell 1,000,000 times. And he's a guy who named his son after one of our toasties. He's without a doubt one of the nicest chaps I've ever known. And he lives in this very village we call home, Montsorel. Please give the biggest What's the Story Hash Brown Glory welcome to Sam Tebbatt.
Thank you.
Welcome on, Sam. How you doing?
Hey,
I'm
mate.
good.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's a lovely Monday morning, isn't it?
Oh, it's a bit
Sun's
cold
out.
and wet
Grim.
and-
Someone was arrested outside earlier.
Someone was arrested. Got cuffed up.
Push, push. In the clink, mate. In the clink.
Get rid of
Wonder
him.
what they did. I've been stealing hash browns from Rustic Kitchen.
Narcotics.
I can deal them now. I wonder if that... You can imagine if that happened, if someone started dealing hash browns.
Pulls the coat out.
We need to, lock down the building, 17 locks so they don't nick
There
them.
was actually someone coming for an interview. We were just no, not today, mate. Nothing to do with us, pal. Get rid of him.
Surveyed for a few years, like that show that you like, the
What,
manhunt.
Hunted?
The manhunt. Like,
Hunted?
imagine if they were coming for an interview halfway through that show, which would be ridiculous. But then they got all the helicopters came down and stuff.
Got a drone above the building as well. Fantastic.
Anyway, Sam, we'll stop gafarbling. How you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm good.
Why did we ask you here?
I did ask you the same thing. You really must be struggling for guests.
That's not true. I think you got
We
some
are
good
not.
stuff.
We've got some great stuff. And also, we want to really give the viewer something to think about differently as well by going through all different walks of hospitality. And it's like, we know you best as being a development chef for Sandwich Brothers. So we'll have different people on, and we just want everyone, all the viewers, to basically see all different parts of hospitality. It's just not cafes or restaurants.
Yeah.
There's so much to it. So much to it.
It's endless.
It is
I think,
endless.
isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us about your job now.
My job now is essentially, in a nutshell, I'd write recipes for major supermarkets, coffee shop retailers, for sandwiches and toasties and wraps and the occasional salad. So essentially, in a nutshell, if you buy anything from a supermarket, it's been touched or dealt with. Not each one's not been touched, like cross-contaminated.
I've just 1,000,000 sandwiches in my days.
But the recipe or the combination of your lettuce leaves in the pre-packed lettuce bags has been sort of re-ratioed or whatever by somebody like me, a major manufacturer, and it all just gets pumped out into your Tesco's, Waitroses. Other supermarkets are available.
We're independent. We're not the BBC. It's fun to say, isn't it? It really is fun to say. Oh, I want to say that one day. Other supermarkets are available.
And we've got some good supermarkets and some bad supermarkets as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I do it all from. I guess over the last 6 years I've been doing it. I've done it for virtually everybody, but M&S and Aldi, in one guise or another. So
That's 'cause
Well, there's
M&S
polar opposites of the market as well, because I've
Yeah.
had an Aldi sandwich. And I've had an M&S sandwich. Yeah, they're very different. I do like that the world's best prawn sandwich, though. You must have eaten that on a benchmarking thing.
I'd love
That's
to.
good.
Have done.
You've not eaten it?
No.
You can get it at Branston's, mate. It's easy. I
World's
have a meal
best.
deal most days. Most days. When Rustic Kitchen isn't open.
Can't have it. You can't get it in the kitchen. You just nip off to the shop and get the world's best prawn sandwich.
I think they do claim that it's the world's best prawn
Seriously?
sandwich. Yeah. Or
That's a game
it's
changer.
a statement piece anyway.
Is it?
I may have got the words wrong, like our best ever or something, but it's more than that. It's more just
Do you reckon?
our newest ingredient,
It's
our
like-
newest recipe, new
it's like-
improved.
it's like
new
in-
improved.
It's like in New York when you see that. This is the best pizza ever.
And
Or the best coffee, the world's best coffee.
You did it! Well done! That was so funny. That's the best movie. Okay, so can you tell us about what you're working on now? Tell us the products you've got out there.
Oh, the products I've got out. There will be a couple of toasties in Costa. So stuff like the hog roast toasty, I think it's called, chili beef, which does itself a bit of disservice, actually. It's a Korean barbecue beef toasty, but I think they got a little nervous about putting loads of words on Korean, whereas...
so they call it barbecue beef or something similar?
Yeah, essentially. So it's bulgogi beef in a toasty. Works really well, nice and cheesy, and a little bit spicy in there.
Noted idea.
Yeah, we'll take that.
You can have that.
That's why it's here, folks.
Tom's got his notepad under the table.
It's recorded, mate. I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Actually, nice one.
This is for the world to see.
Yeah. I've still probably got a few bits in Waitrose. They did they recently launched number 1 into their, we call it food to go. So the kind of stuff you just
the
take
grab
off
and
there
go
and
stuff.
grab and go, yeah. And that was good fun. That took about 3 years to get over the line.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the process from Waitrose calling you saying we need a new range to actually launch day? What's the actual timeline that you have?
So the process is normally 9 to 12 months. Like Christmas is probably the best example. Around November the year before. So if you're thinking this December for 2025, November last year, there would have been loads of emails and meetings, etc. About what they are thinking, what they might want in their range. They'll send us a brief, but they might kind of leave a few blank boxes going, and you guys do your thing. So we'll draft recipes in the kitchen, order a load of ingredients, make it all up, make sure it tastes nice. Then we have to sit down. Yeah, that's key, yeah.
We've got this great looking sandwich. It tastes like dog shit.
We try. It's a little bit hard when
the price points.
Yeah, you're trying to make a sandwich that effectively per sandwich is around £1 to make through and through. That's all the bread, the filling, the packaging, and then kind of like the cost for distributing it as well. And you think all the big wagons that you see on the road, all the petrol and everything. So it's kind of crazy. And then you get it to a state where you then have to sit down at a laptop and try and cost it out effectively and make sure there's all the tooling that is in the factories, or as we call them, bakeries. And then you would present it 3, maybe 4 times to the customer. They might make tweaks, or you might make tweaks with them alongside, and then you take it into a factory team that will then upscale it, and they'll run trials at length. So they'll make a couple of 100 sandwiches all down this conveyor belt with all the machinery, a couple of operatives kind of tweaking and making sure it all kind of works. That then gets shipped off to the customer, signed off, you'd like to think. And then this is normally about a 4-month window for artwork. So everything that kind of goes on the printed triangular, they're called skillets, but they're triangle packs, or the bags, or the flow wraps, or whatever they're in, the plastic sheen wraps. And then it launches. It sounds really easy, really quite smooth. That, in a nutshell, is it. It can, you can
plain
sailing,
have ones that
that's
fly.
how it happens,
Yeah, you can have ones that fly that are really easy. You think, whoever thought a ham and cheese sandwich, bang, done.
I've worked very briefly in development, so we'll understand a little bit the process here. But I don't remember exactly, but I remember the requests, and you'll both probably have good conversation about this. On the requests that came back from the client, were so fucking pedantic. And I was like, oh, are you serious? I don't even remember one, but I'm sure you've got something where it's like, there was 3 grams too many
it's
mayonnaise
like,
or something.
Someone's like, just need like a gram of sage. Gram of sage.
Gram of sage?
Yeah, it's like,
You deal.
it's like,
Is that a real one?
Yeah, honestly, someone said, it just needs a touch of sage, those tiniest touch of sage. And it's like,
Well then.
within the mix of the
I'm
pie.
sorry, I'm thinking sandwich anyway, so.
And I was like, you won't taste it. But you put it in there. And he was like, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because he's had his input then.
Yeah.
That food development manager's had his input, and he's like,
Yeah.
that's my idea now.
Yeah.
I'll take that, tick. Take that to the bosses. I asked him to put a bit of sage in it. Fucking quality now.
Game
Well,
changer.
that's like that. It almost in anything, when you send it out to the public, or to, like, when we've done graphic design, and certainly in Thomas Cater done graphic design, I think we've noticed it here. Like, you send a piece off to someone and they tweak something. I was just going to rebrand Thomas the Caterer, and the logo I started with and the logo I ended with were completely different in terms of touch and feel. I started with a gold one, ended with a purple one. And that's because a graphic designer's changed it one day, and I was like, I quite like that. They're just like to tweaks, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the gram, you know. Just here.
That's the little input that they have, and it kind of sticks, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
But yeah, no, in a nutshell, that's it. And we just kind of roll from one brief to the next. So it wouldn't be, my year wouldn't necessarily just be doing Christmas sandwiches. That's just kind of like for a little segment of it. Where are we now? February. So I'm looking at stuff for next January, next February as well. And
So you always kind of work a year in advance, really.
yeah, you do your best. It kind of starts a year in advance. And then by the time you've done all your trials and it's gone through all the artwork stages, you're probably about 4 or 5 months away from launch.
Like I say, because we had like a thing where we had light nights and dark nights. So obviously light nights is summer. You'll do that mainly in the winter kind of thing, and it's 6 months ahead.
Yeah.
with
Yeah, I always
pubs
found
and
that fun.
restaurants and
Like
stuff.
you're in your shorts and it's like nice 30 degrees outside and you're like, ooh, Christmas Day. What can we, and you think, oh God, never ends. And I don't actually like Christmas as well. So it's just like,
You don't like Christmas?
not massively.
Oh,
the
come
day
on,
itself
Sam.
is great because
I feel like you're my friend that's the child. Come on, where's the child like funning you?
I don't know. Maybe it was all the years in restaurants. It's just slowly just chipped away at any enthusiasm for it.
Oh,
But yeah, it's good fun though. It is, and it's a really sweet job. It's interesting, very, very interesting, and oddly quite hard to get into.
yeah.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, you must have been so lucky to get into being a development chef." And I was like, "No, I was just persistent."
Yeah.
It was like my 5th attempt to try
Yeah.
and get a job interview.
We had
and I'm
similar.
like, fine, he's back again.
Yeah.
I remember trying a lot. I think I went for, well, it wasn't your role, but it's probably, I guess, the person in front, but I didn't get that job. I went for 3 up there. Potatoes, ready meals and sandwiches. Didn't get any of those. And then got pies. So that's 4.
Yeah.
You
I
had
went
loads.
to one in Northampton for Marks and Spencer's,
Yeah.
and I nearly got that and then didn't, and then I got Bespoke afterwards. So yeah, but it is tough to get in.
It's really weird, like really closed door, and you always meet people. It's a really small circle.
Yeah.
So
Because as soon as you're in there,
I remember when I worked with you.
people kind of move around different manufacturers, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they have all the ideas that they've had, and it's like, oh, you can bring it to our factory kind of thing. That's
Just let's rob it. Makes you worth your weight in gold. Almost. Which I don't think I'd be very much.
How did you manage? Because what I struggled with when I went to Dev was like going from being a chef
Yeah.
to working in an office with loads of corporate bods. I struggled with that, and that's why ultimately my career in that kind of left, because I got marched to the boardroom a couple of times for a couple of conversations. But
Power.
well, I've been naughty or anything. I just crap at my job at the time. I was a shit. But how did you find that okay? Was it weird?
It was really weird to begin with because there's no service to set up for in your day. You're not turning up and setting up for a lunch service and then getting ready for your evening service. And there's loads of meetings that happen at really weird times. You're just getting in the flow of like, yeah, right.
Most
okay.
of them pointless
You're like,
as well.
Yeah. Did you need to have this conversation with me? Okay, no, okay. Yeah, it was an adjustment, but I think the weirdest bit for me was on a Monday or a Tuesday, sort of being home at like 5:30, going, fucking hell, I can have a beer.
That's the one thing. That's the one
It's
thing for
really
me
bad.
when
Just-
I always did split shifts ever since I started
Yeah.
to when I went into development, and I was like, what do people do at 8 o'clock at night on a weekday? I was like, I don't know what people do. I was like, we'll
And now
just
you
sit
know.
down and watch fucking EastEnders. I was like, that's fucking crap.
That's
in
it.
your
I
pants,
struggled with that.
3 cans of Stella going, this is the life.
I don't know. I was a bit with Lee's camp. I was a bit like, oh, it's not that much better, is it? At least I don't know. I mean, the good thing is you spend time with your loved ones.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, yeah. Ooh, do I have to enjoy Hollyoaks? Well, is this what normal people are meant to do?
Exactly.
I did
Yeah.
find a bit of solace in like. I started playing squash when I stopped working in the restaurant. That was pretty good for a short while. Find something else to do to occupy your time.
Well, yeah,
Because we're always at
definitely.
work. Hey.
What was the? How did you find the adjustment of like service is like really intense, and obviously development is more intense within like mentally with the amount you're dealing with,
Yeah.
the price of things. Like you're not, if you make a mistake in the restaurant, it's one dish. You know what I mean? It's and then it hits you there and then. Whereas in development, you're dealing with thousands upon thousands of pounds, and it might not happen 6 months down the line, where shit
Yeah.
hits a fan.
It's
like,
really weird. I did have something that's happened quite recently. I basically mock something up, thinking that they've got this particular kind of kit in one of the factories, and they didn't have quite the same kit. So the finish, I mean, it was only making we got a burger basically, and just mashed it all together to make it one big log. Sounds really attractive, doesn't it? And the way they process it was completely different. So we're like, oh, yeah, I didn't know about that 9 months ago. It's a different factory. I thought everyone had got roughly the same stuff. I was like, yeah, it'll be all right. Nah, it's not all right. It's not all right.
Did they have to invest then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that takes time as well, getting the
does take
tooling
time,
ready.
yeah.
The engineers to create something.
And,
It's
and the new
weird.
process of the new machine as well needs to go, and technical needs to go all the way through it. And it's all
Make sure
so
someone
many
doesn't leave a
people,
fingernail in there. And
so many people get involved, and
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. It's fascinating to see the amount of people that are there for all of their individual roles and stuff, and what it actually comes out in is literally just like some bread or a wrap in a little box, and like, Jesus Christ, 15 people have had a meeting about this.
I remember my first experience of that was like the first decent thing I got given was to create like a potbelly pie, they called it, which worked well for me. Camera angle number 2. So it was
Suck
like,
it in.
it was a mini Melton, and it had, and it was basically like the canapé sort of vibe, and it was hot centers in it. But they'd like, just to get to the point where they were putting the meat in the pastry case, because I was using the same line that did the mini Meltons, but then putting the meat in the case. They had to get a dispenser made. Like, it was like fucking short circuit kind of walked in going...
Yeah.
I was like, but then obviously, like, even the mixers had to be made to spec to fit the machine. Oh.
Yeah, you couldn't have any like meat grinds that are too big.
Yeah,
otherwise it's not getting through.
it
Clogs
wasn't
up.
dispensed, yeah. It basically had to be minced, otherwise it just wouldn't go through as well. And with the whole of I don't think they made them, but like the whole, and yeah, too much stuff.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
just,
really weird.
Just to eventually get a product on the shelves, for example, for Christmas, all this stuff that ultimately didn't go through, probably because I was behind it, but didn't go through. Yeah, like, wow.
You really
I really fucked that up, didn't I?
But I think as well, as you've been in there for 4 or 5 years now within Samworth, you do find it easy as well, because you get to know the equipment, you know the viscosity of sauces that need to be in these depositors, the size that particulates need to be. So you develop to the factory then. When you first come in raw from restaurants, you think, I can do anything.
You do, right?
You
And you're
can't.
like, what do you mean they can't make a roux the way that I've known, like the Scoffier Classic? And you're like, oh, okay, right, okay, yeah.
No, you can't.
No, definitely not. It is crazy. Just that adjustment was just mega. And every day you do learn something.
Yeah.
And it's usually because you're
fucked
just
up.
not good. Yeah,
That's the best way to learn from your mistakes, though. You don't learn when you get everything right.
exactly. Yeah, it is mad. And I think the corporate vibes are an interesting one. It's one that I'd quite easily take under my wing now, but at the time where it's like you've got to stand in front of a customer, you've got to have a shirt on when you present, and I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is beyond weird, because if you're on the pass or you're on a station, rarely do you ever get a customer come in and just sort of like stand there watching you, and you're like, oh, want to just go and take a seat? They're like, no, it's fine. So just having those two opposites is really interesting.
How did you in restaurants, and the restaurants you worked in have been like high class, everyone loves the food.
Yeah.
When you go to presentations, people, it's their job to take it apart and say how to improve it. It's nothing personal, and you have to
just take
it, and it's nothing personal on you or the food, but that's their job to kind of pick it apart. How did you take that adjustment?
Probably not very well. Not very well.
You are.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Are you fucking serious? This is the best sandwich you've ever had!
It costs £11 to make. So I'm £10 out. Okay, cool.
So that's
right.
why you don't like it.
That is weird. And when you think you've got something that's, bob on, it ticks all the boxes that is asked of you. You've had your own little input into it, and you've tweaked it and worked it, and you've gone, the acidity in it's great. It helps season it and everything like that. And they go, oh yeah, it's just it's a bit two-dimensional, isn't it? You're like,
Yeah, they use some corporate bullshit where, like, oh yeah,
Really
I really like
deflated.
redong and a splish bling blang bong. And I'm like, why are you talking gibberish to me? It needs more salt. All right.
yeah, good
Or
or
less
not good.
salt.
Yeah.
Hot, cold?
No.
Let me ask you this. How do you want me to make this sandwich? Yeah.
You do, and then you almost like in your head, you're like, "Well, did you want to make it then?" But you can't stand there in front of like one down from a CEO of a supermarket. Do you fancy making it then, mate? Because definitely be marched to a boardroom block, right?
I don't do anything like that. I was just crap at it,
I wasn't
just to be
insinuating,
clear.
but you could have quite easily. Oh, if you're so good,
You schmuck.
but it's
I reckon,
amazing.
but surely, because your background actually is acting, like, so how, that must be quite is that an easy thing to just, because you just put on your performer's face and become Sam the sandwich expert.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not really an expert. It's just an absolute like method acting. That bit's easy for me. For some people, it's not. You know, you get some really, really talented chefs, but you put them in front of more than two people, and they're really shy. I'm like, well, actually,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's pretty much Lee. I'm glad you admitted it first before I kind of pointed. But yeah. We've all
so
got strengths.
yes, but you kind of have to half script it in your head. I think when you do these kind of presentations, because if you're an improv queen, you kind of go off and promise the world, and you've got a senior chef behind you going, "Dude, we can't."
But also
we can't do that.
that is the thing as well. You're talking to customers, and whatever you say, they expect you to do it.
Yeah.
So if you go, we can do this, of course we can, and you know you can't do it. You know what I mean?
You're in the shit then.
You're in the shit.
Yeah. Big
It's
problem.
tricky. It is tricky.
So tell us about how you got into being a chef, though, because I just mentioned it lightly there that you were going to be an actor.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing for me and for the world. I really thought I was going to go and do it, and so I went to university. Thought, yeah, this is me. This is my calling. This is what I'm going to do. Tried it for 2 years, and it was just before the Olympics.
You tried the education for 2 years, or you tried to be an actor?
Tried to be an actor, yeah.
Okay.
Did you go on the bill?
Oh, that would have been
Every young actor went on the bill.
and that's why I think
You would have got arrested out here.
No, I did it. I did it for about 2 years. So I had like various theatre companies. We'd tour around the UK. So do you remember when you were at school and you had like a tutorial session and these three weirdos would come in and be like, "Hey kids, don't do drugs! Woo! How about a career in the NHS?" That was literally my bread and butter for like 2 years. It was great because you do a week's worth of work and there's your month's rent. I was like, yes, get in, living the dream. And then I realised I was decidedly shit at it. And I lived with a chef at the time. This was down there when I was living in Bath. And basically, when I wasn't touring, I was washing pots, basic veg prep, and then just slowly started to tickle into service and helping out in service. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Moved back up here, and then just went from gastropub to Rosette and then on into Michelin. I say that like it's happened in the blink of an eye, but that was over sort of just shy of 10 years, I guess. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. But I'm so glad I'm not an actor. So glad. 'Cause
really? I don't know.
the pressure of it. So I've still got friends that do it. And then one guy who was or is one of my old lecturer's husbands, he was in Call the Midwife and in Band of Brothers, right? So some amazing
really?
shows.
Band of
Yeah.
Brothers?
Yeah.
Decent.
Like absolutely kick
I was just about to have the same reaction about McCall the Midwife.
I love that show.
I actually quite enjoy it.
But I remember I saw him a good number of years ago, and he just had a period of like 18 months of not
work.
drafting
Really?
any work in. He got a few other fingers in pies. But you're welcome. But yeah, I'm so glad because being your own boss is perhaps not for me. And then chasing the work where if you're 5'7", used to be ginger with big eyes, and they're looking for someone that's 6 foot and bald, you ain't getting the role. Do you know what I mean? There's like 400 or 500 actors to one role or something, or one job out there at the minute. So it's a little bit too competitive for me.
Do you see people that you know from wherever, school or whatever, that are on the TV and you go, I know Billy.
Yeah.
Billy Elliot.
Billy Bob, Billy Jean.
I think the weirdest one. So when we were just coming to the end of university, a load of there were professional actors that were still kind of lecturing on the side, and they were like, "You've got to have like a second string to your bow." I was like, "Oh dear, I'm a bit lost there." But some other guys basically started a band called Coasts, and they went on for about 10 years, and I remember being in London and just walking through Camden, past the Roundhouse, and I went, oh, Coast. I knew them from uni. Hang on, wait, what? They were playing that very night. So I sent them a text going, you guys have played the Roundhouse tonight? They're like, yeah. Yeah, why? I was like, I'll just walk past. They're like, oh, do you want to come and watch? So there's like, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe even 5,000 screaming fans. And I've just gone, I remember when I saw you naked. We all got absolutely battered one night, running after this bus, completely starkers. Yeah, seen those cheeks before.
No to edit that bit out for his professional career. I was once Rudy Nudie running down the town.
It's really weird when you do see people. It's nice because you kind of go, oh, they're actually doing what they set out to do. But for the most part, the rest of us just became teachers, or there's a couple that are like lawyers now and stuff. So it serves as a catalyst to maybe do something else and really realise what you wanted to do. We went round the schools for my son. So we went to Reek Valley and did the two in Melton. And I found it very eye-opening that there was a teacher that was a drama teacher that was like, yeah, you can be an actor if you want when you grow up. And she was talking to these kids, and I was like, I was never told that. Like, that was like a massive pipe dream to become an actor when you grew up. Like, it was just something that could happen. No, it was no like, and my parents paid for my education as well, but no one actually told me that I could be an actor. I wasn't really a drama student, but like, there was no like open door to be like, if you want to do this for a living, it's definitely possible. Yeah. You get yourself to RADA or wherever, do you know what I mean? And go and do it. It was quite an open. I was like, this is really awesome.
Kind of, even if you do that and don't succeed to be an actor, it only just helps your confidence and being out there.
100%.
Of performing in front of people, like even performing in front of CEOs of Tesco and Waitrose, you know what I mean? It's the whole life is about performing, isn't it, at the end of the day? And if you've got the confidence from said kind of drama school or whatever, it's going to help in the future.
I think, it really does. And I kind of didn't realise that probably until a couple of years ago. And it's just a really nice thing to just kind of always have in your back pocket to be like, yeah, I'm fine in front of a crowd of people.
Yeah.
So
well, like now, you're about to hit the stage, aren't you? Tell us about that.
So,
although the show might be finished by the time it's
never mind.
You can read the reviews in the paper.
All be thankful you didn't go.
Sam Tebbatt bombed on Friday night. It was a terrible depiction of, what are you going to be?
I'm going to be Drew in Rock of Ages. So another thing, like stepping into...
Is that Gru's brother?
The hair.
Yeah, you could be him, actually.
I've not got as many techers as Steve Carell's got there, let's be fair. But yeah, I was going to say, coming into development is given the evenings and the weekends, and I knew that Loughborough's got a really, really good amateur dramatic scene. Funnily enough, a load of people that were actors, dancers on the West End and stuff, but have had children, started families, they still do it. So I kind of started doing that 2018, I think. And then, just slowly, 1 or 2 shows a year I've done with them. And it's all for fun. You know, it's like any amateur thing. You pay your subscription fees to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be on the stage of Loughborough Town Hall.
Nice.
And Rock of Ages is a 80s jukebox musical, they call it. So they've robbed all the best songs. I mean, that's subjective.
They ain't got Radio Gaga on there.
Exactly.
They don't
Some
have Back in
songs
Black
you may
either,
know.
do they?
And they've written a story into it, and it was on Broadway. It was on the West End and stuff.
Nice.
Tom Cruise's acted in the movie, didn't he?
He did. Yeah. And they make a reference to that on the stage show, which is quite funny.
Who was Tom Cruise in the movie?
Who was Tom Cruise in the movie?
Yeah.
Who's a character called Stacey Jacks. So it's kind of like this.
He wasn't Drew then. He wasn't Drew.
No, he wasn't Drew.
Who was Drew in the movie? Do you know?
I can't remember.
Oh, you got to do your research.
I can't remember his name.
Stacey Jacks is a Blur song, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. It's on
Is
the
it
Part
really?
Life album, yeah. I wonder if that's about that. I didn't know that. I just thought it was a name they made up.
Oh, maybe they robbed it.
It's a good song.
Maybe Blur said kind of like sue him.
I think that Blur wrote the song about that.
But yeah, so this Drew guy is a bit of a hopeless romantic and want to be a rock star. Managed to draw some parallels.
Feeling like a glove.
No research needed. And he basically tries to be a rock star in LA in the 80s. and the club, he works at a club that's trying to get shut down. They're going to turn it into like flats or something. And he finds love. His love then falls in love with Stacey Jacks. It's all this interwoven kind of love story type thing. But it is, I promise it's funny. I don't feel like I really did it justice. It's that awkward teenager funny. So yeah, I managed to bag myself a lead role.
How old is the character?
I think he's like 18, 19.
Okay.
So
that's
with a bit of a
generous.
shave, I might be
Bit of a shave and a wig.
definitely need a wig. Definitely covers
Don't
the
we
bald
all?
spot, yeah.
Don't we all these days? And another one of your passions outside of work is making a little bit of homebrew.
Yeah. There's varying degrees of success.
Well, I quite enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed all of our conversations about it. Like, we're going to make the best beer. Well, you're going to make the best beer ever for us.
Yeah, still working on that.
Take five. Take five. I mean,
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Just from love of ale?
Yeah, and always a bit of a innate curiosity, really, I think. And lockdown happened as well. You know, when everyone was like, oh, well, we'll do the banana breads and the sourdoughs. I was like, oh, done that. Don't need to do that. I'll do the beer. And just slowly accrued loads of big buckets and barrels and yeast and stuff. And yeah, varying degrees of success. Some are brilliant. I don't know how I managed that. And you look back over the recipe and then you go and do another
I was about to say,
recipe,
surely
right?
your dev should just come in and be like, right, well, I did that. And I want it to
Exactly.
be more like this, so let's do this.
Exactly. But it's all environmental, so I've done it.
Down to temperature as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it
And,
is. Oh, of course. Yeah.
So, and I've moved house recently, so I think that kind of played.
The new house's fault.
It's new house's fault.
Damn the new house.
Yeah.
Damn. The old one was warmer.
Definitely warmer, newer.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit older.
Did you listen to the podcast with Combi Cryan on from Brown
I
Corner?
started to, yeah.
So that's really interesting because he was saying that his business partner Colin has like just knows what to do to make, which I found unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, you know a bit, but we would be like, well, you got to test it for you. I was like, no. He just puts the recipe in, and out comes the
it's gone.
deliciousness,
Just- he
and off
literally
it
just did a
goes
run.
into the world.
I was like, so how many trials before you launch? She was like, nah, just do it. I was like,
I can't believe that. But what those two guys have got there is special.
Yeah.
and it's unbelievably good.
Yeah, because Crombie took us round probably a year ago, a couple of chefs from work, and we managed to we were doing an upskilling session, and then the company I work for like to do a lot in the community, so it was understanding what's in the community, and those guys are just incredible,
Yeah, they are.
absolutely incredible, and always award-winning beers every time.
Yeah.
Always wins some kind of international award, and you're just like, how?
Yeah.
Because I've tried it in my utility and it's shit. Where am I going wrong?
I've tried this in my tilly room next to my wellies. That's where it gets the earthy flavour
Yeah,
from.
exactly. Or maybe it's the mould on walls. I just put a little bit in.
Oh, I would like to have a go, but too busy. That's it.
Yeah.
Too busy. I think it's just. We could do it here and like one night just be an explosion upstairs.
Imagine.
Beer just going
Yeast everywhere.
dripping through the ceiling.
It
It's already
stinks
holy.
when it
But it
gets
does.
into places you didn't think it could get to in your kitchen, not in your clothing. Let's keep it real. It does stink because it just grows, continues to grow if it's right, and you're like, "What's that fusty?" Oh no, it's blown. But I've picked like
What does it actually look?
yeah, one or two. If you because it's basically it's yeast fart and it
Yeah.
makes it all gassy. So if you've not got it filled to the right level, or you've got too much sugar, so it's going to feed the yeast is going to keep feeding, and obviously giving off this gas, it will go kaboom.
I
So I've
made
picked pieces of glass out the ceiling before, like, oh shit,
elderflower like presse bubbly once.
nice.
We used to make it a
we made
hammer,
it for
didn't
the
we?
wedding.
We used to make it a hammer as well.
And I put it in the fridge. Fucking open. It was the fridge. It was a freezer and a fridge in my old house on top of each other in the tilly room, and it fucking like
Shut
started
the
to
door
blow
open.
the door open. What the fuck's going on here?
Only supposed
Okay.
to blow the bloody doors off.
Yeah, let's put less sugar in. Last time we're like, oh, put a bit more in.
Yeah, you always think, don't you? And it's like
it's loads. Doesn't need anything, does it?
no, it's weird. It's kind of like the whole when you're a savoury chef versus like a sweet chef or a pastry chef. One's art, and the other's like that absolute rigid science behind it all.
Yeah.
And that's-
Yeah,
I
totally.
think beer is kind of, alcohol is kind of the same in that specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. got to take the temperature of the room, temperature of your water before you start, and everything. It is quite fascinating, but it's a learning curve, evidently.
Every day. But every day is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And especially when you don't focus on it all the while, it's probably even harder. I'd just like to quickly touch on your time at Hambleton Hall, because I think that's quite an interesting place where people know it's synonymous and famous in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, how long were you there for? What was your job?
3
Tell us a bit
years.
about that.
I started as a demi chef de partie. Did I stay as a demi? I can't remember. But I was there for 3 years.
Well, on the CV you handed me, it said that you were head chef.
I kind of kicked Aaron Patterson out of the way.
Sorry,
Aaron,
sorry
who?
dude.
Everyone embellishes their CV slightly.
Yeah. But yeah, I did 3 years there, and it was incredible. It's the hardest kitchen I've ever worked in. Kind of old school, but in like all the good ways, all the stuff you need. And it really brought a craft down to every tiny little thing. So I'm largely like self-taught as a chef. I did my MVQs and stuff. But even the things that you thought you would have learned at college are completely different to when you go to somewhere like that. You know, how you would prep your carrots, your navets, the little baby turnips and things like that. It's an absolute game changer. Turning potatoes, turning mushrooms. Who does that anymore?
Nah,
Yeah,
turn mushroom.
quite.
You can keep that one. I like a turned potato. It looks beautiful, but
It's
not a
nice.
turned mushroom.
Turned mushroom is just-
stupid. That's just a waste of mushroom flesh. It is.
But it was awesome, absolute game changer, and the clientele they pull in is just astounding. I think there was like the Crown Prince of Brunei or something.
Oh, really?
We cooked for. That was interesting. He
You have all
kind
the
of
security
basically-
in the kitchen.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like old commandos or SAS operatives, and they were all just like these guns for hire. So you go into your car at like midnight after you clean down, you just hear these foots coming through the woods, and you're like, anyone there? And this guy would just pop out. Yeah, no worries. Fuck. You got a piece? Yeah. Okay, that's weird. Elton John's been up there, Stephen Fry, so it's really quite special. You know, when to tick those, it's quite nice little.
Yeah.
I didn't really do anything. I cooked someone else's food, but
You were there when they
I
were
was there.
there.
When
Yeah.
I was there when it happened. Just a really cool kitchen, and to sort of like understand the intricacies to maintaining a Michelin star for however long they have, which is
It's
39, 40
Yeah.
years now. It's incredible. And so understanding what it takes to just have that continuity is a real skill.
just the consistency of excellence over that length of time is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, because you see places like El Bulli, they came 3-star and then they went. Whereas Aaron and the team, he's been there since like the early 90s, I think,
Yeah.
just ticking away.
Consistency's key.
Outstanding. Yeah, and it always made me smile. So have you seen Burnt with Bradley Cooper? And him and Sienna Miller are in that. It's like a Burger King or a McDonald's or whatever. And he's talking about consistency. And it's like, it might be a peasant dish, but it's consistent. That's something that every chef should strive for. And I was like, that's amazing, because that's exactly that at Hamilton. That consistency is just, it's staggering. It's mind-blowing. It's a fantastic chef to work with. Brilliant. And a Leicester supporter as well, which was nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's from Leicester, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
Could be
class
an
myself
armchair
as a
supporter.
Leicester supporter these days. I don't know how that happened, but now I'm like, oh, now I'm watching to see what Leicester do. Lee's elated. He's like, oh, he likes football, finally!
Just
Up until
slowly
when-
ground
up-
him down.
Up until when Leicester beat Tottenham and he texts me going, that's got to work. And I was, I'm not replying to that. Just fuck right off.
You must be used to it.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you are used to it. You are used to it. I had one more question, but I've forgotten it whilst we were laughing.
So going back into development where you are now, what's next year looking like on Sandwich World? What's the new trends?
yes,
What's the new trends?
New trends, a lot of they call it personalisation. So traditionally, you just buy a sandwich and it might be a meal deal where you get your whatever flavour crisp or a little snack and a drink. They're actually sort of thinking about getting the snack bits into the sandwich. So any kind of like little shaker pots or extra
really?
sauces, or squeeze your own sauce in that's inside the pack, or maybe even having like a little tray of select your own sauces. So that personal touch that you can put to your own thing that you've just bought is probably still quite hot.
How are they going to do that without using any more plastic?
I have no idea.
Don't do it!
And the little pot's going to cost about 15p.
Yeah.
So
There's got even less margin to do.
So basically, your sandwich is going to go down. Your price of your sandwich is going to go down, and the packaging going up.
That's the challenge.
Same price though.
Yeah, that is the challenge. And a lot of mashups. So kind of like within the UK, I don't know, market, you could say, it's all about looking outwards. So, you know, Japanese, American barbecue, Korean, Filipino, all those kind of trends, they're kind of slowly creeping in, if they're not already quite. I know Japanese and barbecue are already pretty big, but then how it's interpreted into food on the go, food to go, is going to be probably the biggest point of this year into next year.
Have you been involved in any collabs with famous celebrity chefs or?
Yeah, the nearest one, I say the nearest one, you know the Bosch Boys?
No.
The vegan bloggers. They teamed up with
I
Costa.
think I've heard of Bosch. They've got books, right?
Yeah, a load of cookbooks. They did a range with Costa a couple of years back that I was involved with, which is pretty cool. Is it Ian and Henry? And they're really sound guys, and they completely get it. They're like, oh, they're a bit like the Hairy Bikers. Like, oh, we're not chefs, but here's everything we do. And I was like, well, you've taught me a ton about vegan food. And they're like, cool. So how do we make it chefy? And I was like, okay, in a toasty. You don't have to do anything, just pop it in, lads, you're fine. Yeah, put it under the grill, you're good.
Sorted.
But that was cool. But that, yeah, in terms of like a collab, that's probably the nearest I've got to.
Yeah.
But that's good.
It was nice.
That's good.
Yeah. Good fun meetings.
We're doing this so that we get collabs, so
Sign up.
you know where to do. Just I don't know, send a bird or something. We'll do anything really.
Send a pigeon.
Please, someone
Bottle.
collaborate with us.
Message in a bottle. Or an email. That'll work.
There's email.
This is the email.
Yeah, email us.
Adam will
please.
do that.
We keep asking him to do this shit. He doesn't do it.
Now, when someone points down, just put an email
Right.
there.
So this hash brown's going to fly across the screen, and behind it's going to be the email address. Look, it's there.
You know, when they watch this, there'll be fuck all there.
We're going to look like turds, aren't we?
It wasn't in shot.
So welcome back. We had a quick break whilst Lee was... Whoa.
Just happened so fast.
Whilst Lee was in the kitchen rustling up this hash brown glory. So we're changing up again. We thought that it might be fun to do to get our guests to eat something hash browny and glorious. And yeah, we're going to have fun with this, do different toppings every week, all involving a hash brown until we get bored of that idea. So Lee, go on, tell us what's in it, man. It looks unbelievable, to be fair.
So
It's like a hot dog.
yeah, in the restaurant, we've added loaded ash brown to our side dishes, so you can get that Tuesday to Sunday. So this one is a Big Mac.
Oh,
So what
yes.
we've got is the two classic hash browns loaded with, we've got our salt beef that goes into our Reuben, and then blow-torched Ogle Shield over the top of that, so it's nice and charred and melted all over. And then we've got our Big Mac sauce, and we'll drizzle that over the Ogle, and then we've got pickled red onions and gherkins, and then more Big Mac sauce, all smothered over the top.
When you have a Mackey's, are you gherkin in or gherkin out kind
In.
of guy?
100%
Always
in.
Yeah.
100%
Who
in.
takes them out? Psychopaths.
Adds so much to the burger.
It does.
So much.
A gherkin is essential.
Always.
I would ask for more. When we have Reuben, actually, I ask for more.
You know, someone's hack for having fresh fries at McDonald's. Someone used to work there. Ask for them without salt on, and they have to cook your fries fresh.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
and then
that.
obviously you
Yeah,
get
salt.
sachet salt and just put it on yourself.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the soggy things.
I've got a friend that used to ask for a fork and knife at McDonald's and then sit in the restaurant and eat it with a fork and knife.
See, it's knife and fork.
Shut up with this now.
It
Give
is,
it
it's
over.
knife and fork.
You
What do you
say
say,
things
knife and
weird as well. I never pick up on you.
Yes, you do.
Crack on. I'm going to pick up on everything you say now. That's it.
Okay, let's get this fork and
Go on.
knife in there.
Sam, knife and fork. Sam,
Sounds
you're
like
our
you're saying
guest.
fork and knife.
Well, maybe I am. What's the best thing you ate recently, Sam?
I think it
Apart
might be
from
this.
Apart from this. You're very kind. You're very.
And we're going to have to say something diplomatic like my wife's cooking.
No.
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 She's a dab hand.
Is she? Good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Good. Just gonna scrape.
Push.
Hang on, you. No munching into the microphone. Ooh, there's the beef.
That's awful.
Thank you very much.
It's disgusting. I'm a bit nervous eating on camera.
I don't like it.
Judged.
You know when we had the burger? Secret burger.
I love that. I demolished it.
Literally didn't touch it until the end. And then Adam got a picture of me going, bastard.
Matt's burgers are good though, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are. This is good. It's got like salt beef. Isn't salty, but it adds like that real earthy meatiness. It's like eating a Big Mac with a delicious set of fries instead of
Yeah.
fries.
Just a sauce. Sauce brings it all together. Then you got the nice acidity of the gherkin and onions on top.
And that cheesy Ogleshield as well. Where's Ogleshield from?
It's up north, isn't it?
I thought it was south. No.
Oh, really?
I thought it was so.
What do you know? Sandwich man.
That's really nice. I think actually that is slightly better. You had a while ago. You had okonomiyaki with the pork belly on. That was fit. That was so good. It's so good.
The
That
okra
might just trump
The okra
it.
was a good dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to come back soon. We've been
That's
battling
delicious.
to try and like write a new menu. After a new menu's just come out, like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's think about the old ones that we've had.
Yeah.
There's so many
If it ain't
dishes
broke.
like the
May use them in different guys, but
lamb merguez ash was such a good dish that we've done before, and it's coming up to spring as well. Perfect time to bring back for the next menu.
Yeah.
But it's
Get
all
it in.
like I say, not trying to reinvent the wheel all the time. Just have little tweaks of dishes that we've done, instead of just working our ass off to make something completely new again.
Exactly that.
yeah, and using it like, you know, Lee suggested doing the merguez, but on a flatbread instead, you know, so using it in a different guise. And
Yeah.
it's a good call, isn't it?
But it's just, yeah, I would say we have our kind of process for a new menu is as soon as the new menu launches, then we have a new menu review of how the new menu's going, if we need to change anything. And then a couple of weeks later, we'll have a development meeting for the next menu. So it never stops. So as soon as the new menu's launched, we're into the
Right.
next one.
So when you review the new menu, do you do it on do you do it on sales figures that's actually really sold and becoming popular, or is it literally just
a little bit of everything? We do it
Also-
a week after. If there's any glaring error, we've got we can do it instantly. Right,
Yeah.
that's wrong. Review the wording on the menu.
Like someone ordered
Feedback.
jerk chicken, but then complained it was too spicy. And we're like, well, it's jerk.
right?
It's got Scotch bonnets in
Yeah.
it. It's going to be hot. Like,
But obviously,
so
with that, then
just tweak
we've
that.
we've made it and we've measured the actual spice that goes in there, and we've all agreed that it's not too spicy.
It's not.
It's jerk chicken at the end of the day, so there needs to be an element of spice in there.
My
But-
point was for the words, like, we're changing,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, this is spicy, motherfuckers. You know, like,
Yeah.
we
I
should
think you
write
have
that.
to.
Yeah,
We should write, it's spicy, motherfuckers.
yeah. But it's all stuff like that. We kind of review everything, people's feedback of how dishes have gone down and stuff like that.
How it's served.
how it's served, how much prep it's got, how much elements to a dish, how is it during service, can we produce it quick enough, because we're kind
Yeah.
of fast-paced turnaround, all things like that. And luckily, it's been
Last one,
It's
this one
pretty
was
good, yeah.
minimal.
pretty
Yeah.
good. But again,
But
we've
also,
got-
it was quite quick. I didn't get to try all the dishes between the launch and the thing, so I maybe need to elongate that or eat more. Tough
That's
decision.
definitely the
everything's
second
trial
thing.
before, and then we go straight into a week after. I'll go straight into the development for the next menu, whereas all the chefs come around, have ideas, put it to the table, and then we'll collect them all together, and then we'll put a menu together, and then we'll work on them dishes that fit within that
Nice.
menu. And then that could be a month to 6 weeks of just developing, working on them dishes and making sure they're bob on. We'll can them if we don't think they're going to go, and we'll introduce something else of someone else's idea.
Nice.
But yeah, that's pretty much the process. And then when we decided that's going to be the menu. We'll trial them again, get pictures, put them onto the system and on the website. Yeah,
Good fun though.
launch it. Oh, it's great fun. It's great.
Yeah.
Fun.
Is that experimentation at the first where you kind of like no holds barred?
Yeah.
What can we do? I think
Yeah.
that's the most fun.
But as well, we've got a base knowledge now of recipes, like our books,
Yeah.
ginormous, that we can pick and choose different
Yeah,
ones.
see which-
That'll go with that. And that
a
was a
jigsaw
good recipe
puzzle.
for that. Yeah, definitely. Pretty much like you do in development. It's like,
Yeah.
base recipes that you use in the bakery all the time. You go, oh, that'll work with this one. I'll use that. We're getting that kind of blanket of,
Yeah, it's like
knowledge.
The caramel
together.
in here is used in 3 different places. It's just
Well,
Because you know it's
rock solid. Look at that set. They ain't going nowhere. It tastes delicious.
ain't going nowhere. Ain't going
Sam.
nowhere, punk.
Hit us with your quiz or questions.
quiz questions. All right.
Remember, the winner gets hash brown henge.
Dom, 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 dom.
Ah,
Look at that. That's the thing of
hastily
beauty.
thrown together. I'm very proud of it. I love how
Don't
orange
drop it
it
on
is.
your toes.
Look how it's meant to look.
It's so skinny.
They are the crap, aren't they? Who would,
Thanks,
eat?
I worked
Who
really
would be like,
hard
they look so delicious, I've got to buy the dish.
Really selling it. Okay.
Should freeze dry those and then turn that into. Don't be gentle with them though.
Die cast mold. That'll do, won't it? All right then. So
You could get that
question.
sorted.
Eh?
You could get that sorted with your connections, all moulds and stuff.
Yeah.
Sound sorted.
we do. Might come up a little bit more theatrical, but you know. It's
So you're going to come on singing Nass and Dora. What do you call it?
Nass and Dora.
Nass and Dora.
That's
tits and teeth. Right. So question number 1. I think you should both get this.
Probably won't.
Well, I don't know.
He's not confident.
It's fact or fiction.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. I named my son after a sandwich.
Fact.
Yeah. Fact.
It's both, and it's fact and fiction.
It's a fiction.
Well, I put it on my list because I really liked it. It's Reuben,
Yeah.
which obviously you make a great
Because it
one.
was in the thingy.
It's in the welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it also means behold a son. And he's our second born, so I thought that was really nice.
Ah.
I just didn't tell my wife it was also in the name of a sandwich. And then she went, Reuben's great. I went,
Yeah. I got that. I got that past Melissa as well. I was like, what about the name Rennie? And we had a couple of different names, and she was like, oh. And then when she was like, what was that our name you said? And I was like, oh, Rennie. She's like, yes, I think I like that one. And he'd been born, and I was like, all right, I've got to tell her now.
You didn't tell her it was a drummer from Stone Roses.
The drummer from Stone Roses. She's like, what? I was like, it's the drummer from Stone Roses. She's like, oh, I like it now. He's Rennie. Yes.
I got a name on the list as well. It was Dallas, and is a singer in a couple of bands. It's Canadian, and she was like, "Yeah, it's quite nice. I like Dallas." And then I told her, and she's like, "Absolutely not. Are we naming that son after a singer?" I was like, "Why? How about a sandwich instead?" Thanks. Love you.
I love that.
I tried to get my friend to call his boy Ziggy.
Ziggy's
I
a
was
good
like,
name.
Ziggy be a wicked name. And he was like, it would, wouldn't it? And Amy was like, no, it fucking would.
Bowie and Zowie as well.
Zowie.
Zowie.
I don't know.
Zowie, Bowie, Zowie. But Zowie, I think, can get close to Zoe. Number 2.
Number 2. How many calories were in the sandwich that Elvis flew from Las Vegas to Denver to eat?
Is this the peanut butter?
It's a deep fried peanut butter.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was bacon, peanut butter, banana,
And jam.
and jam.
How many
How
calories?
many calories?
Stab in the dark, 6,000.
I'm gonna say it's got to be over your daily.
That is.
Definitely.
How many calories do you
Got to
consume?
be 8.5.
1,000.
Yeah.
Lee Pips it. It's 8,000.
Wow.
Allegedly, yeah.
In one
There
sandwich.
you go,
Yeah.
a point.
Hey.
How? Mad. It was huge.
Well, that's how he died, isn't it? He,
Definitely was.
he
It
just
was called
ate
the
that.
Fool's Gold Loaf. It was huge. Allegedly. So there we go.
What was in it then?
Peanut butter, jelly, jam, bacon and banana.
Yeah.
Which
We
I thought was
did-
quite apt.
I
'cause
think
you
we've
did
got to
the-
make one of those.
You did
We
your
did a take
PB&J.
on one.
Should we make one?
We
Just
did
for
a
fun.
take on one in
Yeah.
development. We did it for it was a Hungry Horse. course or something, we did a peanut butter cheesecake with caramelised banana on and a slice of crispy bacon. We just sold the cheesecake and they garnished it and stuff like that. And we called it the Elvis. It didn't go forward, but it was a good idea.
It tastes great. That's the fun bit about development. You go, oh, this is going to taste amazing. And everyone's like, sorry?
What? Why?
It's all right. It's just, it'll be in between us then.
Yeah,
it's
in joke. Yeah. People don't get shit, do they, sometimes?
It's lost, isn't it? What are we on, number 3?
Yeah, number 3.
Question number 3. Fact or fiction again. I was once at the Fat Duck eating a former world's best restaurant with 3 Michelin stars. And this is fact or fiction. I was served a cheese sandwich as part of their tasting menu.
Fact.
Yeah.
You nodded when you said fact, Albert, so it's still even.
So you have to do that.
You got to put your
sorry,
game
I'll
face
look
on.
away.
Yeah.
So you do a childhood memories about food questionnaire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's really immersive. It's really interesting. And I was like, I remember the summers watching my dad play cricket and eating cricketer's tea. I thought,
Nice.
cheese sandwiches. But they put the whole nitro in the tube thing that came out, and they were like, we put some free-dried grass in there, so it smelled like grass and stuff. It was still really cool, but...
So they did that for every single guest, something different for every single guest?
Oh.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Hospitality, folks. It's the place to be.
Yeah, I think my wife's definitely broke their kitchen. She was like, I remember having lobster in Mexico. So she got lobster, like with this gold leaf lobster and all this. And I'm like, you got something really nice. I got a fucking cheese sandwich.
You humble man.
What can I say? Question number 4. What sandwich was created by the UK's Milk Marketing Board to boost sales of cheese in the 50s and 60s?
What sandwich was invented by the Milk Marketing Board to increase sales of cheese?
Mm-hmm.
Cheese sandwich.
Cheese and pickle. Cheese and onion.
Cheese and Branston.
Close. It's the Ploughman's.
Cheese and piccalilli.
Oh, is
So it's
it?
cheese and pickle, yeah, virtually. The whole the premise of a Ploughman's has never really existed, but they just did the whole
I'm not into
in
Ploughman's.
yesteryear. It's an acquired taste, I think, isn't it?
It's just, it's all the ingredients are nice.
Bit basic.
It's just normal lunch, isn't it?
I like it, but it's...
This doesn't excite me. People have it for their wedding
like
catering. I'm like, all right, we'll do it. Yeah, I'll do a nice one. But
a bit like a scone, isn't it?
Did it quite like a scone?
Yeah, but it's...
Or was it a scone?
Scone.
Let's not get into there.
No.
Scone.
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 I think I say scone. Another thing. Apparently.
Put that one on your notepad, Lee.
Oh, he's got a compartment in his brain of things Tom says wrong.
It's just live recordings. He's got to
really
fast forward
haven't.
through.
I have now.
Or differently.
Question number 5.
Question number 5.
In the UK, how many sandwiches roughly are eaten every year?
That's a good question. I like that one. Do you know what the market share is of sandwiches? How much it's worth?
Per year?
Or you can do the maths on that whilst we're doing the maths on this.
I think it's about...
Homework set. Don't say anything because they don't give us an answer. Hold your horses. Right, how many sandwiches sold? How many packaged sandwiches?
Yeah.
Right. So in the stupid,
Packaged sandwiches.
in the stupid markets and kiosks and stuff.
I'm going to say...
Anyone.
I'm going to shoot 500 million.
Talk amongst yourselves.
And also 75 million of tuna.
Yeah, I don't know why, though.
100,000 of prawn.
They're
How-
all
how
sold
did
at
you
football
say?
matches.
500 million. 500 million. Got 6 million in the country.
Yeah, I'm going with
obviously-
350 million.
Allegedly, is 11 billion.
Hey!
Fuck off, really?
Why is it? You got 365 days.
I
in
just
a
went
year.
on like 2 or 3 a week.
Some people are dailies.
Yeah.
But then you think like when it's in like hospitals and stuff as well. They have all the rolling patients that'll get a sandwich.
Hey, that's a lot of sarnies.
Say it again for the listeners because I didn't get it.
11 billion
11 billion
sandwiches a year.
sandwiches.
And you'll probably had your hand in at least Not physically had your hand in.
Imagine if you touched them all.
4 billion of them.
It's probably quite crazy to
What's
think.
the
'Cause,
average retail price of a sandwich?
probably 325
Really?
11 billion.
billion.
Is that 11 billion there? Yeah, that's 11 billion. Multiplied by how much, sorry? £3. Oh,
Yeah.
3. Well, 33 billion, obviously. 33 billion.
Yeah.
The 11th time tables is the easiest, Sam. 33 billion.
Yeah.
And how many
Allegedly.
sandwiches are you shifting out of that place?
Per week, one type of sandwiches could go for anything from 3,000 of a ham sandwich to something that's a bit more intricate. That might be 10,000
You know,
per week.
obviously you got your staples that you send to Waitrose or Tesco every single day. What's the shelf life that you have on a sandwich? Is it just one day?
Normally it's 3 days on shelf. So if you buy a sandwich that is on the last day that you're buying it, it's probably 4 days. So it'll be assembled one day and then shipped and on shelf for the next, and it's okay.
So
for 3
literally
days.
overnight, it goes
Yeah.
overnight, goes into the supermarkets the next day. So the day before it was created, and then
Yeah.
it's a rapid turnaround, isn't it? It's going all
huge.
around
That's
the
what Amy was.
country.
Amy was expert at getting
Yeah.
things to places. That was her job. Like, and it must be quite stressful for those guys as well. Being like, right, get it out there. Distribution,
I didn't even want to entertain.
because as well, it doesn't go.
So-
The sandwich doesn't go direct to the supermarket either. It goes to like a distribution centre, and then in that it
That's
gets split off and
Well,
I've
I've
off
always,
to other places.
all my development's been frozen, so we have a bit of leeway. We build stock, so as long as you got the stock in, it doesn't matter. You're not got that time frame kind of pressure. Whereas yours is literally like, to this day, it needs to go for the next day.
Yeah, it's quite crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, there's other sectors in the food that like manufacturing industry, like yours, or like ready meals, where it's more pasteurized and heat sealed and steam sealed, so it's got a longer life, and it's perfectly like safe.
yeah.
As is ours. I'm not saying like we
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
in a car park and go chuck it in a bucket. Here, eat, mate. So it's really like really sterile environments. But yeah, you could get like 7 days, but I think everyone's a bit conscious of quality and
Yeah.
you don't want to try and convince
You
people.
really you could get up to 7 days on a sandwich.
I reckon you could, yeah.
Wow. Because obviously, like, they've done loads of tests on like tomatoes in sandwiches, haven't they, to like dehydrate them so they don't leach into the bread. And
That's right.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about a BLT from them. Yeah, you do get wet. I don't really like the tomatoes in it. I'd probably just be a
BT.
BL, bacon lettuce.
BL, yeah.
BLM.
What is your favourite sandwich? Also, you won an award on Sammy's, didn't you?
Yeah.
What sandwich did you win with?
So that was a prawn sandwich.
Was it?
I know what it was. I know the elements anyway.
Yeah.
Talked about this.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? It was crazy. It was a point when I was really busy, and I thought, I'm not going to enter it. So the sandwich is like the Oscars of the sandwich manufacturing world. I thought, nah, I'll just bang one in that I kind of thought about but never made for anybody. And it got through to the finals, which was at like the Royal Lancaster in London. You have to cook it off in front of a load of judges.
Really?
Yeah, and then so they have kind of like categories. There was like the prawn category, the chicken, bacon, chocolate, or whatever. And you have to use one component in that category. Has to be. Mine was prawn, so I did prawn with chip shop scraps and mushy peas. But I ripped off Heston. Sorry, you know the sounds of the sea.
He's definitely not listening. He already refused the invite to come on the pod.
Just let's cover our asses.
Asshole.
We can say what we want about it now.
How's France? Damn it. But yeah, it's got the sounds of the sea. Where you put the earpiece in. I didn't go that far, but it's basically on a bed of pebbles. So I went and foraged loads of like mussel shells when I was on holiday once, kept them. I went, oh, they're going in.
You can put the sounds of the arcade, like.
I've got big pockets for these two peas.
Jesus Christ.
And the occasional child vomit.
Ice cream, seagull.
Cigarette
yeah.
butt hitting the floor. Wow, we should maybe do soundtracks. That was perfect. That's it. Next Rustic kitchen dish, you'll have immersive sounds, and Lee and Tom will deliver the plate like.
The experience is in the eating, right?
Yeah, it is.
Our fish and chip club will come with like a scrap. What do you say? Oi.
I thought you were talking about a scrap of paper.
No,
you
I
mean
mean
like a
like a- yeah.
scuffle. Yeah, fight. Yeah.
Imagine kebab. It comes with a bouncer's knuckle. Just like, there you go.
Yeah. And a foot and a slip down some stairs, maybe lose some teeth. Feet are stuck to the floor whilst you eat it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Is that
think
the
that's it.
experience
I
of
think
it?
that's where we just say no more podcasts. Sam, you have been a wonderful guest. He was all nervous, and hasn't he done well?
He's done brilliant. Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Sam.
coming along, mate.
Thank you.
If anyone wants to get in touch with you, where do they get you? Do you want them to? You can plug the show. Plug the show.
Plug the show.
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages.
Might be finished, but we still do it anyway.
Oh, do it. We'll do another one.
Okay,
We'll do
go
it
for it.
Vita next, and then
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Go
We'll
on.
do a snippet before he goes out.
Yeah. All right.
share it.
I'll warm up, and then it might sound even worse. I think I'm on Instagram as Tebblington, and then you can find me on Facebook.
There we go.
So for a reach out, slide into my DMs.
Slide into my DMs. Sounds so weird, doesn't it?
Sounds so wrong.
See you next week. Oh, no, hang on, before we go. Subscribe! Please. We need more
Here.
friends. Where's that hash brown floating again? Come on, tell your friend. I know what you can do this week. This week, instead of subscribing, actually, forget that. Just share this with someone that you think might like it.
Don't forget that. Still subscribe.
Okay, subscribe. But as well, share the pod. If you think someone will enjoy this, and they will, because why not? We're an absolute hoot. Share it with them. They might enjoy it, and they might tell their friends when they listen to this episode as well. All right? Bye-bye. See ya. Wow.